Hello, good day to all of you. My name is Blair and welcome to another OS operating system. Today we're gonna take a look into Ubuntu Unity 24.04. And of course, before we proceed, let's check out the website first. Type in Ubuntu Unity and hit enter. Of course, we have this website. Let's just zoom in a little bit so that you could see. So we have Ubuntu Unity. It is a flavor of Ubuntu featuring the Unity 7 desktop environment, which is the default environment using the Ubuntu of 2010 to 2017, and it is active development and maintained and released of Unity 7 every year. And of course, you have the download right here on the bottom. It has the 2404.1, which is right now we gonna download this one. But of course, we gonna take a look into this feature of Unity 7. Has a elements such as a heads-up display and a global menu, and with helping with your productivity. It is modern looking, and of course user interface is elegant and traditional workflow. So the team, of course, it was way back in 2017, which is the original member of the Unity 7, and at the same time they are still on the development. Of course, you could check out their community right here in the GitLab, the Twitter X. Of course, we have the Discord and their Reddit, and of course their email, Telegram. Let's try to see. So it will run any of your hardware, either in desktop or in laptop. So it is very adaptive to any computer, including some of our supercomputers and servers. Okay, so this is their look of their desktop. So remember to check out the website ubuntuunity.org. Okay, let's minimize this one and let's go to our boxes right here. Let's try to install. So I could like click and then open. Don't mind my other OS, which is I'm testing it right at this moment too. Of course, let's put about like 8 gigabytes of random access memory, and of course I'll give it like maybe 50 gigabytes of storage space, and then let's create the virtual machine. Of course, I gonna make it full screen so that you will not be confused with some of my desktop menus. We have the install and try, and of course safety graphics, and of course test memory. Let's just click try and install. So this is their desktop environment. As you can see, it is not yet installed. There is the installation shortcut key or icon. So we could like install this. This is their shortcut key. This is actually in the live session right now. So let's try to install this first before we actually test the whole operating system of Ubuntu Unity 24.04 LTS. Okay, let's double click this one. So we are now in the installer. This is the Calamares installer. So we have the language right here, which is American. Of course, I'm here in Thailand but not in Bangkok, but it's okay because that is our time zone right here. And let's click the numbers and dates. So I prefer the English, so let's go to the English. So let's click this one, okay, and then proceed next. And of course, let's click next for our keyboards, and we have these information that installation mode will be in full, normal, or minimal. So the full, all the application and the third parties will be installed below, The normal will be the browser, utilities, and software, which is the games, media player, and office suite. But in minimal, only the desktop environment. So I prefer the normal. There is an additional third-party packages right here. We have the elements, the Thunderbird, the virtual machine, and the Krita. Let's just pretend that we could like install this later. Okay, so let's click next. We have all the disks. We could wipe out everything. Of course, you have the option to have the swap or no swap. Okay, so let's put some swap extent 4. Yes, of course. And of course, the master boot will be on the SDA, which is my virtual machine, virtual disk, or virtual storage. Let's click next, and of course I have to enter my name for my computer. I'll just stick with my RialbbeTV, and of course we have our password to keep us safe in our account. Of course, I only have like 4 digits so that it will be easy, and this is just for testing. And of course, click next. If you proceed, you have the summary of our location, keyboards, partition. Okay, so it is all right here as it summarizes everything. Okay, let's click install. Of course, we will try to erase everything in our disk so it will not be undo if there are changes. Let's click next, and let's wait until it is fully installed in our virtual machine. So we reach our 100%. Of course, we gonna reload this one, restart everything, and let's try to first boot the Ubuntu Unity 2404 LTS. Okay, let's click done. Rebooting. Okay, now let's reload, reboot our system as our first boot after installation. Alright, so we have our first boot. So we are not yet in our right display ratio, but of course we will try to enter our super secret password that we entered just a while ago so that it will be safe in our operating system. No installation will be done when we enter the password. Of course, let's enter again our super secret password. Alright, so we have the, oops, we have some error. Of course, okay, there's just the, I think we have an error because we didn't yet update. Okay, let's just close this one first. So this is our Ubuntu 7.7. Of course, this is their desktop environment. Let's close this one. More details, we will try to see that right here in our system, so we could like check out all those stuff right here. Of course, this is our first boot. We have the initial, and let's try to see if there is a actually the welcome page is not the welcome page, it is just a shortcut key, which is try to let you know which are the shortcut keys that is on our initial boot. And of course, we also have the desktop environment, which is, let's minimize this one first or close this one so that you would like understand our desktop environment. So this is the taskbar, and we have the another taskbar right here, which is the dock. We have the search for apps right here. You could go to the home or right here on the application, plus the folders. If you have some videos and music and pictures will be there too. But of course, this is not yet the installed. Of course, we also have the recycle bin, the trash right here. Plus, you also have this desktop Ubuntu. This is actually the theme switcher, the notification right here. You also have the wire and the Wi-Fi. Right here is the language, and we have the sound and time and date right here, and of course your shutdown, suspend, log out, and of course your about of yours computer system right here, and help. If you need some help, you could browse this one. If you need some help in this desktop, of course you have your desktop right here, the network, the sounds, and all those stuff right here. Let's get out from that particular desktop environment. Of course, this is their wallpaper. By right clicking the mouse, you have the options to change the background. So I have to move this one so that you could see. So you have actually different types of wallpaper right here. How about this one? We have the pier. Yes, that's just a pier. And we have the no bat. And of course the cartoon-ish collection right here. Okay, this is Mount Fuji in... Oh, this is Mount Fuji during the summer. Okay, now I get it. We also have the no bat, of course. Another rainbow light bulb. This is the Northern Lights. We have the no bat default wallpaper. Here is the cartoon-ish. Ooh, Matador. We also have the Unity. Ooh, okay. And of course the no bat of Ubuntu. This is the black version and the gray. Alright, so let's go back to, let me see, let's go back to the just the original default. You could also change actually the icons sizes. Like right now it is 44. When we have the 32, it's a little bit smaller. 24, of course, smaller than you think. Like this is the 48, which is I think that's the default. Okay, probably I'll just stick with 42. It is much better. You have also the accent color right here. You could change. By the way, if you have some pictures, you could also click this one if you have some pictures already. Color gradient right here. Yeah. Oh no, not yet. Let's put some selection of colors. Okay, like that one. Of course, you could also change some colors, like pastel colors, like this one. It is okay. Right? So let's go back to our default wallpaper, which is the default no bat. Of course, you also have the auto hide of your launcher, like that one. Okay, that's auto hide. Okay, let's not auto hide it. You can change it from the left top or left side. It's up to you. The sensitivity of your mouse and all those stuff right here. Even the able of your workspace. If you want to have a lot of workspace like that one, like you have all those stuff, you have your workspace 1, 2, 3, and 4. Of course, let's just disable that one. I don't want to get you confused yet. It's just like in Windows. You could also use the workspace in Windows actually. Okay, so that is the wallpaper. Now let's try to see the other settings right here on our system settings. Aside from our wallpaper and appearance, we also have the brightness lock. We also have the key entries right here, the Bluetooth color display, which is right now I'm using my default, which is the 1080, which is the 16:9 ratio. It is normal rotation. I don't want to get you confused that it will just like upside down ish and something. Of course, you also have the keyboards, mouse, your trackpad, your touchpad, your network power settings, your printer if you need to add your printer, your sound, of course, settings right here. Allow louder more than 100, of course. It could, like, if you want to have like more than 100, you could do that one too. This is Linux, you could always do that. Of course, you also have the balance right here, the left and right, your fader, like your near and far, your, of course, your subwoofer if you have. So let's go back to our settings right here. You also have the tablet if you have the tablet interface, which is desktop tablet-ish. Of course, our system settings right here. Let's go back. This is the share. So if you want to screen share you could also do that. Just clicking that one, how to share, and then of course you allow it to have the password so that it will not like give you some trouble. Okay, and of course we also have the software and updates right here, your time and date, your universal access, and the user if you want to add another user or a guest account. Okay, let's try to click our software and updates, of course. So as you can see, we have the updates right here from the main server, authentication, and so on and so forth. Let's close this one. So that is the desktop user interface. We only have the LibreOffice Writer, LibreCalc, and of course the Impress. This one is the word processor. Let's open this one so that you could see what is the LibreOffice Writer, the document writer. Okay, let's just close that one and close this one too. It's just like Windows that they have a lot of information before you start everything. So this is their interface of their word processor. It's just like the old Windows Office 2005. Yes, it is like that. And of course, let's open the Calc or the Excel, the equivalent for the Windows. We also have the Impress, which is the presentation. So you also have this different templates that you could like choose from. So it is basically the same. Of course, you could close that one, and of course you could also check out their transition, their previews right here, their available templates. Transition is also here. So it's basically like your Windows Office 2005 or 2007. Of course, let's close this one. Okay, so we also have the installer right here. Did we already? Okay, it's just only the... Okay, let's just eject like that is the installer that I haven't ejected it yet. So let's try to download some application So let's try to click software. So we have this one. We have also the GDebi for the installer. This is an installer. At the same time, this is the software manager. Let's try to enter our super secret password to gain entry. Of course, let's make it maximize so that you could see everything. Of course, we have the quick introduction right here. Of course, you could pause and read this one if you wanted to. Of course, I have to close this one, and of course, let's try to look for the application. So let's try to download Canon Live video editor. Of course, let's click this, install, mark install. Of course, let's mark that one. And of course, let's click apply for it to download and apply. Of course, it will have the information right here. Our individual files will be appearing right here. You could also close that one if you don't like it. But for me, it's just fascinating to see that what are the packages that are being installed in our computer, not like in Windows that you are clueless of what are they installing on your computer. So you could click details, unclick it, so that it was just like the percentage right here. But of course, it is also appearing this installation and unpacking. Okay, everything is applied and successfully installed. Let's close this one, and of course I want to try another one. I want to look for another like the web browser. Okay, we have all those web browser right here. I'm curious if there is a Microsoft web browser right here. Am I just blind, or I haven't seen Microsoft web browser? I think I could not find the Edge web browser. Okay, let's try to close this one and then try to see if we have the web browser already. So let's click the web browser. Okay, so we have the web browser of the Firefox. Okay, let's try to look for Edge web browser for Linux. Okay, change to English first. All right. Okay, so as you can see, we have the web browser now in English. Let's click the, let me see, this is just right. Okay, all right. So the Microsoft Edge web browser for Linux, yes, it is right here. Microsoft Edge web browser is available in Linux because, of course, there's nothing stopping right now, because the Microsoft is also using Linux. Yes, they are using Linux actually, because their developers are also using operating system Linux. Not only that, but also some of the various operating system like our Mac OS, iPad or iOS, and of course Android. Let's click this one. It's already completely downloaded, so let's double click this one. Choice of application to open the file, it is GDebi. Let's install it. Okay, there it is. Let's install. Of course, every time you authenticate to install, you have to authenticate it with your password, and click. So right now the installer is downloading and installing our Microsoft Edge web browser in Linux. Okay, it is already finished installed. We could now close it and then close this one too, and let's try to look for our web browser Edge. Okay, there you have it. We have our Edge web browser. You could open it. How fascinating to have a Microsoft Edge web browser in Linux. So welcome to Microsoft Edge web browser in Linux. Accept and start. Okay, if we want to have the information right here, focus, or the inspirational, or we're just gonna have the informational. Okay, let's confirm that one, and not now. I don't want to sign in to our synchronize our data yet. Of course, let's close that one. So as you can see, we have, oh my gosh, let's just use English. And of course, Microsoft Edge is your AI powered browser. You could also use the Copilot right here in Microsoft Edge web browser in Linux. Of course, we just click next. Smarter way to browse, of course. It is just for Microsoft users, of course. If you don't want, you could like skip this one and start our web browser. Alright, so we could close this one. It's English, please. Alright, so we have our Microsoft web browser right here in Linux. For those who are using Microsoft for the past few years and you don't want to use the other web browser, it's up to you. So I'm demonstrating this so that you have the options if you miss your Microsoft. And of course, in Linux you also have the Microsoft 360. Of course, you could use your Office suite. Okay, so that is the benefit of using Linux. You could use your Microsoft accounts. Okay, let's close that one. You could also ask your Copilot right here by clicking this one. So it is right here, Copilot. Get started. What's your name? Of course, it's just gonna put my RialbbeTV. We could like ask the Copilot right here, what is Ubuntu Unity 24.04 LTS? It will answer, of course. There you have it. So the Ubuntu Unity 24.04 LTS, which is the long-term support, codename Nobat, the new version, or the version of the Ubuntu featuring the Unity 7.7 desktop environment release, continue to use Unity 7, which is the undergoing maintenance and improvement of the Unity desktop environment. Of course, you have the stable, and of course it is a modern looking Ubuntu Unity. And of course, you could also visit their website and upgrade the version at ubuntuunity.org. So that is the Copilot. Okay, let's close this one. It's nice to have the Ubuntu Unity 7.7 desktop environment with the Ubuntu Unity operating system 24.04 LTS. This is LTS, long-term support. It will be supporting until like how many? Oh yeah, let's try to look for the, let's ask again, Copilot, until Unity 24.04 LTS supported until what year? So until it will be April 2029. It means that security updates and maintenance for 5 years and released in April of 2024. It will be continued, well, until April 2029. So nice. end of conclusion, of course. It is easy to install. It is not too hard. It feels like a real Ubuntu desktop environment of Unity of way back in early days. It is not like Windows. It is not like Mac. It feels like really a Ubuntu Unity. The user experience, well, it is a little bit like probably the Windows user will be getting confused on this one, because if you click this one and you have to look for the files, of course it will be fewer, like this one. If you want to look for some application, of course you have to type in right here all the A's. Of course, if you're looking VLC, of course just click that one. And if you want to look for some configuration, yes, you have all the configuration right here. How about the videos? Of course you have the cheese, which is our camera operating for the apps for the camera of your laptop or computer. And of course you also have the Canon Live, which is our video editor. Of course, let's just open our video editor right now. Let you see the video editor of the Linux. It is awesome, right? It is free. You could do whatever you want. How to shut down? It is over here on the power button, and then you click right here, shut down. Before we shut down, of course, if you have some question, feel free to ask me. Write it in the comments down below. This is Blair, your science, computer, and math teacher. This has been the OS operating system for the Ubuntu Unity 24.04 LTS. It's a long-term support. Bye for now, and see you in the next episode. And remember that science means knowing. That is why science is cool. Let's try to shut down. Ciao. Shut down.